What's up, y'all? Well, Coach here, and I'm coming to you with the DEADZONE Beta discussion. All right, I'm going to be talking to you right now about the abilities, some of the things that have changed, and some of the things that have not changed. So, what I like to do is I like to focus on the new stuff. All right, so if an ability hasn't changed, we're just going to mention it and we're going to move on. Okay, let's get to it. First one is Agile. Agile is basically exactly the same. It's exactly the same. AP. AP is exactly the same. Okay, if you have an AP weapon and it's AP1 and you have AP armor, now you have an AP2 weapon. And basically what that does is reduces the person's armor down. Beast. Beast cannot carry. The abilities, they're already burdened, so, they have no room to carry more. Basically, it's just, if they're like the monsters and stuff like that. Okay, Blast. Blast has changed. Huge change. Here we go. Blast weapon does no direct damage, though its force of the blast may push models off buildings or slam them into walls. Basically, now you get slammed into a wall. So it's almost like a flashbang, per se. I'm going to throw the grenade in. It makes a blast, and maybe it's like a sound wave. I picture it as a sound wave. It kind of like, and pushes you, and you get slammed into a wall. You get slammed off the building. You get moving. So what happens is when that happens, you are going to take a gravity test, okay, where I roll my survive, and the gravity rolls 5 plus, and then if you blast into a wall, same thing. You can get blasted away into another cube. You can scatter into another cube also. So maybe nothing happens there. Nothing happens. If the attack is hit, then all the models in the cube except the target are thrown 1 cube away from the target model and then pinned. The target model is thrown in 1 cube and random direction and then pinned. Okay, so basically, something happens. If the attack is a miss, then all models in the target cube are pinned. Okay, something new. All right, boom with a exclamation point and end. When a model with this ability is killed, they explode. All right, that's your suicide bomber there. In addition, the model may choose to trigger the explosion as a special action, which is a short action now. Regardless of the cause, when the model explodes, treat it as a frag explosion in that cube. All right, frag we're going to cover in a little bit. Construct. The model is an artificial creature immune to certain effects. What effects we don't know, because there are no more changes in aggression. Everything is just pinned. So does that mean that the model doesn't get pinned? What is that? So they got to really figure out what's going on. Engineer is the same. Basically, it can booby traps do not explode. They could do that. It's the same thing. It's the only real engineer is the one that the enforcers have. Fire control, new rule. Okay, when a model takes a shoot action, it can use 2 weapons instead of 1. Each weapon may choose the same or a different target. Declare the targets of both weapons before you roll an attack. Pretty good. Become a gunslinger. Okay, you can shoot at this guy with your rifle, and you can shoot at this guy with your bazooka, or you could really go dead on and shoot both weapons at him, 1 shot. That's pretty good. Okay, that's pretty good. You can move and then shoot 2 weapons at 2 different opponents or the same opponents. That's good. I like that one. Not too many have it, but I like it. Frag. When a frag explodes, it may injure or kill models in the target area and force the explosion that will throw survivors to the ground. Frag will always be listed with a number after it in place of the N. Example, frag 3, frag 5, etc. Okay, they want to streamline this stuff, so it kind of did. Roll a variable dice 4 plus test X for the strength of the attack, where the number of dice rolled is the number of brackets after the frag. For example, a frag 5 weapon would roll 5 dice for damage. Model in the target cube must roll a 3 dice survive test. Roll once in the attack separately for each targeted model. So basically, blast you out of it, but frag blows up. Okay, that's the main thing. If it is draw or survive, the attack misses. So if it's draw or survive, I like that. Draw or survive wins, or draw, everything misses. Frag wins. The difference in potential number of successes. So it's the same thing like shooting. If you have rolled 3 dice and you got 3 successes, and the survivor only gets 2 successes, that means 1's going through. Whatever the results of the explosion, the surviving models in the target cube are thrown 1 cube and random direction and then pinned. So it's just like blast, but you're getting hurt beforehand. All models in the adjacent cubes on the same level are thrown 1 cube away from the center of the explosion and then pinned. So if it gets in there, it blows up, everybody moves, and everybody's pinned. So frag, it seemed like it got stronger. I think it's stronger, but it's good. It's a little bit quicker. It's easier. Adjacent models, you get thrown and you get pinned. So basically, it blasts, you go flying, and everybody else gets thrown and pinned. Frenzy, new rule. I like this. All right. Basically, you fight with a frenzy. You get to re-roll all of your misses. So if I roll 4 dice for a fight test and I have frenzy and I roll and I get 2 successes and 2 misses, I get to re-roll those. Here's a cool thing though. If you roll it, let's say I roll 2 8s and 2 1s. Okay, so I'm going to re-roll those 1s. I get to re-roll the 8s, so the 8s explode. I roll 2 8, the 8s again. I get 2 more 1s. I get to roll all the 1s again. I roll them again, so I have a potential of rolling it. If I roll another 8 on that re-roll, I get to roll again, and I just keep. If I keep going, I keep going because it's a frenzy. It's a frenzy. It's a frenzy. All right. So I like that a lot. That's giving combat guys some really cool things, and some of the weapons have frenzy attached to them. So some characters have the ability for frenzy, and some of it just by taking a certain weapon you get frenzy. So I like that. It's really cool, man. Yeah, in the game it's coming to play a lot where frenzy. If you roll 4 dice, let's just say for frenzy moving in, and you roll a few 8s and re-roll them, you could potential 6 to 10 dice can be going through them, and it's tough. So you want to be able to use frenzy as much as possible. Glide is exactly the same. You go up 2 levels, you can glide down 2 levels. It's pretty cool. Okay, grenade. Okay, thrown in the same way using a shoot action. Okay, it's a 3 dice shoot test 1. So if you get 1 success, it's in there. It's basically the same. The grenade type varies by the type. So I'm sorry, the grenade varies by the type. So basically, if it's a frag, if it's a smoke grenade or whatever, that's the way it goes. Heavy weapons, basically the same. If you have a heavy weapon, it's you can't move and then shoot because it takes a long time to set up. If you're carrying this heavy weapon and you get into a fight, it's a -1. It's a -1 to your fight stat. Same thing as before. Horde. Now, Horde was in the other game. It was in one of the expansions with the book with the zombies in it because they were there. They did change it though. They took away the AP. So here it is. When a model fights with a Horde, it is in a fight. It gets a +1 modifier, having a friendly model in the cube as usual. So if you have 1 friendly, 2 friendly, or 3 friendly, you would get a +1. Here's the difference. Horde, you get a +1 for each friendly model, not counting itself, in the same cube that also has Horde. So if you take the only one right now is the zombies. The zombies, if there's 4 of them in a cube with you, you're going to get 4 extra attacks. So you're rolling your 3 plus another 3. Okay, because you got your 3 buddies in there. So 3 and 3, you're rolling 6. It's pretty good. A few 8s, not bad. Pretty tough, man. Pretty tough. It's The Walking Dead, man. They just keep coming and coming and coming. I mean, you could take out one really quick, but when there's a bunch of them there, it's cool. It's a cool rule. It's a cool rule when you give it, but when you're on the receiving end, it's actually pretty cool. You're playing this game and it happens to you. It's pretty cool. Indirect is the same. Okay. Let's see, indirect weapons can shoot normally, and they can shoot indirect, indirect 3, indirect 5. And if an indirect weapon shoots normally, then use the normal rules. The following modifying rules only apply if the target, a model it cannot see. Shoot becomes a long action. So if you have indirect, it becomes a long action. So that's new. Okay. Also, due to its arcing trajectory, the weapon cannot target anything within 2 cubes, regardless of its normal size. That's the change right there. So if you have an indirect weapon and the range used to be 8, you get within 4. You couldn't shoot within 4. Now, if it's within 2, so if you have to shoot at least, if the range is 8, you got to shoot 3 cubes or more. I like that. I like that because it used to be where you had an indirect weapon, and once the guys move up and they get within that range, oh well, that's the plague mortar. It's a range 8. Psh, I'm gonna get within 4. All right, I'm gonna indirect you. No, hold on, I'm within 4. Now if you look up, right? You can't. It's got to be basically, if you could see. So if you're hiding in a building, they can't indirect you because they can't target you. So now you got to be more mindful of that. Okay, you have to know what you're doing as far as that. So I like that. I like that a lot. So that's a really good change. When it choose a target cube. You do not need line of sight to the enemy. Same thing. Target cube. Roll 3 dice test. Success means that the shot has landed in the cube. Failure requires to scatter. Okay, and then it goes into another thing. So it might scatter onto your own guys, or it might scatter onto somebody else. Like you're going for the captain, but it might kill one of the grunts. So that's it. If it scatters, but you know you gotta roll. And here's 3 dice, shoot test 2 with no modifiers. So now instead of having 1, you gotta have 2 successes. So that's new. All right, and that's pretty cool because it's an accurate shot. So there's a better chance of you missing. But 2 is not bad. It's not that hard. Failure requires a scatter roll and determine which cube the shot. You use the scatter thing, same as before. An accurate shot will scatter into the highest level of the stack it scatters onto. So if you're shooting for something on level 1, it scatters to the cube next to it. You're going to be, and it happens to be a building, it's 2 or 3 tiers high. You're going on the top there. Nothing might happen. Nothing's going to happen. Also, it explodes out, doesn't explode down, so you don't have to worry about that. Indirect shot explodes and may injure or kill models in the same cube. Roll a variable 4+ test for the strength of the attack, where the number of dice. For example, here's the example. Indirect weapon 5. Weapon would roll 5 dice for damage. Models in the cube must roll 3 dice, survive test. Roll once for the attack and separately for each target models. So basically, everybody in the cube's got to roll survive test against it. Because one guy might just blow up, the other guy might get the stuff on him and survive, and nothing happens. All right, so that's pretty cool. Draw or survive wins, attack misses. So that seems to be part through the course. Okay, if the frag wins, it's let's say it's a frag or hit wins is different in potential damage. Whatever the result, all surviving models in the target cube are thrown 1 cube in a random direction. All models in adjacent cubes and the same thing are in the center are pinned. So it's basically the same thing as before. So it's nice because that happens through everything. It's not something different. Favorite rule in the game, here it comes. It burns. I hated the fact that you would shoot something and you would try to light them on fire and they put out the fire and they would completely, nothing happens. Now, basically, I'm not going to read it, but I'm going to get it to you. All right, I shoot you with something where it burns. We resolve the damage of the weapon right there, AP1, AP2, whatever. Okay, you are good. You are not hit. You're fine. The cube is on fire. The cube is on fire. We don't need the water. You know the rest. Okay, what happens now is you have to roll the next turn. You have to roll before you do anything. You got to put out the fire. You got to see what happens. So the cube is on fire. This is good. Now, where's Blaze Away? It's gone. No, it's not. It burns. Okay, you're gonna light the guys on fire. You got to figure it out. Okay. Now, this is what happens. If a model is on fire when it is activated, the first action must be to attempt to put out the fire. This is a special action that supersedes the normal restrictions on action and is worked out as follows. So you can't move and then try to put out the fire. You got to put out the fire because you are on fire. Let's see how many times I can say fire. All right. The fire rolls 3 dice 4+ test. That seems to be par. 3 dice 4. Okay, 4+. Target rolls 3 dice survival test as usual. Draw or survive wins. The target puts out the flames before they do any real damage. The model may continue any remaining actions. So, in a way, you have to put out the fire. If you survive or it's a draw, you put out the fire, but you've wasted a short action. Okay, the flames win. The target manages to put out the flames and is no longer on fire, but suffers damage to the process. The potential damage is equal to the differences in total success, and it is resolved at AP1. That's new, so that's pretty good. All right. So let's say you resolve it, but you have armor. The armor goes through. You could take it. You could take potential damage. It's pretty good. Okay, and then the model's activation ends immediately if the flames win. I like that. I like that. So you got to put out the fire. It takes a long action. Okay, you're activated. Flame doubles. This is where the rubber hits the road, fellas. The target remains on fire. The potential damage is equal to the differences in total successes resolved at AP3. AP3 right there. I like that a lot. The model's activations ends immediately. Okay. Streamlined. Really cool. Really effective. If you could take it in Burns thing, it's pretty good. But what I've noticed is the models or the weapons that have its burns have really low range. So you got to get up close and personal. Now with the range rule, you can't double the range, can't triple the range, put them on fire. You got to get up there. So that's a new strategy. Plus with the I go, you go, you got to really figure some stuff out, man. All right, knockback. It's basically the same. With this ability, targets knocked back into a different cube, resolves the attack as normal. The move the target away directly from the cube of the attacker. So if I'm coming at you straight ahead, and we're in that cube, or come straight ahead, or we're fighting, and I moved into that cube that way, I move you back. You might be knocked into another cube, or you might be knocked into a wall. Hopefully, you get knocked into a wall, and then you start your whole damage there. Loader is basically the same thing. That's like the Revs Polaris cannon, or the gun track, or something like the mortar. You need one guy to load it, one guy to shoot it. Okay, so the loader can remove a reload counter from that model by taking a special action, which is short action now, so that you get it actually done. Medic is the same. Okay, no test is required. If you're a medic, that's something that you could heal a model's wound right there, and it can't help constructs or vehicles. Non-combatant, the model cannot or will not hurt their enemies. They may choose any weapon and must choose to use or survive if engaged in a fight. Okay, they will not use a weapon, so they're basically pacifists. I've never had a non-combatant, so I never really used that. Okay, Rampage. Rampage is back. Okay, when a model with this ability is damaged but not killed, it goes crazy. In a blood frenzy, may even attack its friends for the remainder of the game. Whenever the model's owner chooses to activate it, you must roll 1 dice. Okay, there are a few models in here, and we'll go over that in the video of the factions. But some of them have like 3 or 4 wounds, and they have Rampage, so it gets a little worse. All right, 1 or 2, the opposing player may control the opponent's model for this turn. That's terrible. When that happens to you, it's terrible. You get you guys in a perfect position. Roll a 1 or a 2, and then your buddy, your opponent takes it. Okay, I can't tell you how many times that's just the worst. It's the worst. This can include attacking the model's friends. In the confusion, neither side may claim the +1 modifier for fights. Exactly the same. 3 to 6, the owner activate the model as normal. Okay, 7 or 8, you activate it yourself. And they may act with the model as normal. In addition, the model is so frantic that it may move 1 cube before it takes its normal actions, as if the owner has played a command dice move result on it. So you want to get a 3 to 6 just to own it, but a 7 and an 8, you can take a move and then go. It's good. That's good. The 1 or 2 though, woo, boy, that's scary. You don't want that. Remote, as long as the friendly engineer is within 3 cubes when the model is activated, the remote model acts as normal. That's for your automated things like the Forge Fathers drilling laser, or the engineer with the enforcers putting out the sentry guns and stuff like that. So it's basically the same, but you got to be within 3 cubes. That's new. Okay, so you got to be close. Personally, I don't really like the remote stuff. It's not for me. It's not for my taste. If you do use it, comment below. Tell me how good it is, and maybe I'll start using it. But right now, I'm not too keen on the remote. Scavenger may carry up to 3 items instead of the normal 1. That's pretty good. You can pick up 3 items, move them wherever, bring them to wherever, drop them. It's pretty cool. If they reveal a booby trap item, then the scavenger's activation ends immediately. However, the booby trap does not explode. Instead, it is dismantled and discarded. So basically, if you open a thing and there's a booby trap in there, they let it go. The only thing is that booby trap was part of the command cards. So now I wonder how they're going to work that into there, because it's not in the game yet. I don't know if this is a paste and click, but it's not there. Scout's cool. Okay, you basically have a free move at the first round. A scout model may take up to 1 free sprint action. Both sides have scouts, then the player with the initiative moves all his scouts first. Scout may not enter a queue containing another model during this pre-battle movement. Nice. You get you guys in position. You get a free sprint action. If you have a guy with scout and he's a sprint 3 or sprint 2, it's pretty cool. Pathfinders, whatever, you can get him in position, get you guys in position. It's a nice little thing. It's pretty cool. It's a newer rule, but it was in the last edition, one of the expansions. So it's pretty cool. A slow reload. If you have a slow reload on a model, you have to remove the counter requires a special action by the model carrying it. If the model has other weapons as penalty when this penalty only applies to the one with the slow reload. So now it's a special action. The weapon cannot shoot again until the counter is removed. If you have a heavy weapon and you have to remove this counter, you're kind of screwed. But if it has long reload and it is not heavy and it's only a special action to remove it, that's actually pretty cool. Or you can move and then remove it for the next turn. Before it was, to remove it was a long action. That kind of stunk. So pretty good here. Smoke screen. The model's equipped with a smoke generating mini grenade. Deploying it. It's pretty cool. It's the same thing. Once during the battle at the start of any one of its turn, the model may place a smoke screen. This effect is identical to smoke grenade going into a model's cube. Placing a smoke screen is not an action and may be done even if there is an enemy model in the same cube. That's pretty good. Pretty good. If a model moves away, the smoke screen remains in the cube. It was deployed in it. It disperses in the same way as a smoke grenade, which is pretty cool. All right. So Asterion players, get out there, use your smoke screen. Your toxic smoke screen. It's pretty good. Sniper scope. Sniper scope, something new. It's a new rule. If a weapon has a sniper scope, you get a +2 automatically. Before it was if you have the sniper rule, you would get a +2. Now, all you got to do is put a sniper scope on. I do like that, but I kind of like that the sniper got a +2 because that means that he was training and stuff. He was getting his, all those that time at the range or the specialist, he would get a +2. Now, anybody just throw a scope on there and you get a +2. All right, it's pretty cool. Not bad, gives everybody the ability. So now everybody can stop bitching and moaning about that. The enforcer snipers get pluses because of the sniper special rule. So now we're getting it because of just by putting a scope on it. Solid means you're not going to be knocked back. Suppression, something new. Okay, here we go. This is your blaze away. Here's the hidden. It's in the sauce, brother. Here we go. A weapon with this ability shoots as normal. Then, in addition, any model from either side in that target cube are pinned. I shoot, there's a guy, you're in deployment. You get 2 or 3 guys in a cube. I shoot at one model. Whether I injure it or he survives or I kill it, every model in there is pinned. There is your suppression. There is your lower aggression. I like that. The models with suppression or the guns with suppression are pretty cool. The only thing is it's not level through all factions. So I know there's some concern about that, but let's see what happens later on. We'll get at that when we do the factions. But that's pretty cool. You'll be able to shoot into a cube, kill a guy, and then suppress the rest of them. There's just so much fire coming through. I like that. It's pretty cool. Tactician. All right. This is, before we had specialist and tactician, and it was a problem with how many command actions do I get with, how many more do I get with a tactician or a specialist? Now, it's all gone, and you are a tactician. Tactician 1 means you get 1 extra command dice. Tactician 2 means you get 2 extra command dice. Okay, the most you can get is 2, 1, or 2. Okay. Most you can get is 2. I'm sorry. So now what happens is you can note you can only apply the tactician ability of 1 friendly model. Having more than 1 tactician in a strike team provides no benefit beyond having a replacement if the first one is killed. I don't understand that because you can only take 1 leader. You can only take 1 leader. So the leaders are the ones that have tacticians. So that's a basically they're saying like, if you had 2 guys with tactician 2 and 1 dies, you're going to lose those 2 dice, but you're not because the other guy's there. But now what's kind of cool is you get if the 1 guy died, you would get it. But now let's say you have a tactician 2 and the leader dies, you lose those 2 dice. Now you're only rolling 3 instead of 5 for your command benefit. So that's pretty cool. So that's another thing where you gotta hide your leader, or you gotta go after your opponent's leader. Tag, something new. Okay, the model with a tag rifle can spend a short action to mark an enemy model as a target. For that remainder of this round, all shots against the target by any model with a tag rifle receives a +1 dice. 1+ dice. That's pretty cool. So everybody with tag rifle. So it's basically you're lighting them up, getting a flare on them, and you're able to get that. Okay. Teleport is the same. It's a special action, and you're able to move up to 2 cubes in any direction without needing a clear line of sight. Tell you what, you're on the other side of a wall and a Teraton comes through it, he teleports through it. That's pretty scary. Really cool idea, man. Really cool idea. Tough is the same. The model ignores 1 point of potential damage attack per attack. Okay, so if you don't have armor but you're tough, it's pretty good. If you have armor and tough, that's even better. They did get rid of really tough, which was you were able to get rid of 2. So nobody's really tough anymore. You're only tough. But I guess the really tough guys are the bigger guys, and they have more wounds. So that's how it goes. Toxic. A model struck by a toxic weapon is never injured. Any damage that gets through the model's armor will kill them. So basically it makes you vulnerable. Toxic smokescreen is the model can generate clouds of poisonous smoke to hide itself. So basically it's the same as before. Placing a toxic smokescreen is not an action. It may be done even if there's an enemy model in the cube. If the model moves away, smokescreen is there. But basically the toxic smokescreen goes off, the enemy goes in it. If you're not immune to it, you become vulnerable. So that's pretty cool. You throw a smokescreen on there, you get into melee, and you can kill them. And models that are already vulnerable suffer no additional effects. Adjacent cubes are not affected by toxic smokescreen. What we do is we take a little bit of cotton and throw it in there. We put the light on it. We have the damage counters and stuff, so it's pretty good to do that. Vehicle is the same. Okay, vehicle is the same. They have no specific game function beyond looking good, showing in the battle. That's when you have a model with it, like the Goblin gun track. Vehicles large and cumbersome, so they cannot move about the battlefield. In the same manner, a vehicle can only charge up 1 level and down a ramp. They may not climb walls. They may not pick up, carry, or use items. They have an amount of damage based on their size, just like any other model. So depending on size, it'll tell you how many wounds it is. Usually size 4 for like the Striders and the Iron Ancestors and whatnot. They're basically not affected by the movement portion of knockback or blast. You can't blast them out of a cube. You can't knock them back into a wall. It cannot be moved into another cube by the attack. A vehicle is destroyed, is left on the battlefield. It is not treated as part of the battlefield terrain for the sake of the appearance. You might want to remove any crew members or stuff like that. We put the steel wool on it. I'm sorry, the cotton wool, and make it look like it's on fire. So it's something blew up on the battlefield, and it's pretty cool. And it's a piece of terrain, so you got to move around it. If it's a 4, and you can't move through it, so it's just there. Volatile is the same. On a roll of 2 to 8, if you feel safe, if you roll a 1, it blows up and sets the model on fire and goes to it burns. My favorite rule. So it's basically the same. Vulnerable is the same. Any damage that gets through the model's armor will kill them. Okay. Way to fire, new rule. New rule, like this new rule. Weapon with this ability throws so much firepower at the target that something's bound to happen. Any shoot dice that fails may be rerolled once. This also applies to any additional dice gained by rolling an 8. I like that. I like that. So let's say you're a combat monster and you are fighting and you have some misses. You get to re-roll those misses. If you roll an 8, re-roll those 8s. If you get some misses, you get to re-roll those, and if those become 8s, you re-roll them. So you got potential, man. You just keep rolling dice, rolling dice, rolling dice. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Way to fire. So some weapons have it, some factions don't. I didn't write the rules, but it's pretty cool. It's a good rule, man. So if you could put that on every model, that and Frenzy, good to go, and it burns. I like it. So that's the end of the abilities. Not too many changes. Few things here or there. I think it's not bad. I like the abilities. Makes it a little easier. I don't know why the streamlining. I don't understand the streamlining because the rules are pretty set. And if you have that rule, you know what to do. I do like the streamlining for the it burns. I like the streamlining for the blast and the frag and being thrown to a wall or falling off the wall. It's pretty easy to remember. Survivor versus a 3-5 plus test. I don't have to keep looking back in the rules and stuff, so it's really easy to remember. The abilities in any game You gotta have abilities because that makes characters special. It makes the faction special. So it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I really like this. I like the abilities. I don't have a problem with them. I pretty much said all I had to say about that. But I like I like where it's going. The abilities are pretty cool. Um, I don't know. I don't know what they can add to it. But play a few more games. Drop a comment here. Drop a comment to Mantic, and see what happens. But all in all, moving in a good direction. And let's remember, this is a beta. This is not the rule set, guys. So let's play. Let's figure it out. Let's learn from this, and then get community feedback, because the whole point of them putting this out is to get our feedback, and you get to play test it and you learn about this, and the game that you love you can fix. So that's all I've got to say about that. Please check out our other videos about the DEADZONE Beta. I've been talking a lot about this because you know how most of you know out there love this game. We've been playing it a lot, and you know, I just don't want it to go by the wayside. I think it's a good game, and we can make it better. So, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, you gotta leave them below, man, because I answer everyone. I've never not answered any of my comments. Check out our other beta videos where I go over a lot of the stuff in depth. So please like, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.